Yeah. So we want to talk about how to freeze. Yeah. So why it might be necessary to freeze some of the rows in your cell. I mean, in your data, it's because you might be working with a large data set, and so there's some information that you might want to be maintained at the top. Yeah, or maybe at the sides. That is where now freezing maybe a certain row or freezing a certain column comes in. So for example, we may want to see this top row to be freezed, right? So where you find that, of course, you come to view, and then you freeze a pane. Wait, first I select this one. So you come to freeze, and then it's either you want to freeze the top row or you want to freeze maybe the first column. But let's see, freeze the top row. So when we freeze the top row, you can see that this one, it's maintained. Row number, row number one. It's maintained, it's not changing. That is because sometimes like you have a large data set and then you want to be moving to maybe a certain item, and so you want to just maintain the row so that you know what it is that you're talking about here. So if you don't freeze it, you see, like you will not be aware maybe what this information is representing, right? If I look at maybe Steve, what is Steve talking about? So that is because like you don't have that top row for you to know what you're dealing with. Yeah. Um, Another thing is, yeah, so that is where you now freeze. So freeze this top pane or maybe freeze top row. So yeah, you want to freeze that so that that information is maintained. So whenever you scroll even up to the 1,000 line, the headers are maintained. Yeah. Okay. Something else you might want to, okay, play around with freezing the first column. So let's see, you want to freeze maybe the first column. So you can see here, column ya ID is maintained. Yeah. So only the column for ID is maintained. So when I scroll to whatever sides it is, I can still see information here, a certain person here whose ID is maybe 87, ID is 115, or now sometimes you may want to freeze. Maybe I just want to freeze this information up to gender. Yeah. And then I freeze what again? And then I freeze the top row. So I'm freezing all this information that I have highlighted, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, at the apple. And then I also want to freeze what? This top row. Yeah. So how do you do that? So you just maybe click your, okay, you click this cell number I2, because you want the information mpaka gender ndo ibaki. So we click up to I2 and then go to freeze, and then let me first unfreeze these pens. Yeah, then come back and freeze pens. So you can see when I move, column mpaka H is maintained. Yeah, up to H. So this information is static. Similarly, if I go up, you can see that the first row is also Nini. So you can see there's a line here. There's this line that is a little bit darker. Okay, let me move it this way. So you can see there's this line that is dark, and also there's this other line on top here, number one. So it's telling you that this information here, it has been frozen. And also this top column also has been frozen. Yeah. So that for you to easily access or maybe easily understand or maybe know where you are. So you can just be moving it around so that you see. Yeah, that is, you've frozen it. So it's easy. It's always necessary when you are working with a large data set. But again, there are some sections of the worksheet that you want to always be maintained when you are moving around or scrolling, right? Yeah, so that is freezing. You can freeze a column or freeze a row. simple stuff, right? Are you good, Soipei?
Yeah, I got, but I'm trying to practice it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So where are you finding the challenge?
mhm. I think I've not seen it very clearly. I'm trying to practice that by myself from my end.
Okay. Anybody else having a challenge trying to do that? A thumbs up. Nini inaitwaje hand up kama una like you're also finding it a problem. Yeah. Is it only Soipei? Not Hezron. Hudson, are you good with that?
Not really. I didn't get the part where the last part, the first part of freezing the row, the top row hapo nilipata poa. So this other part now, I kinda got lost somewhere.
Freezing a top row na freezing a first column you got.
Yes.
How about Nani? Hillary, what is your status? Oh, you're positive. Who else? Brian?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. Any lady? Let me see. Valentine?
I am also okay.
And the final lady, Mbodza. Mbodza, you're good? Okay. Let me just repeat quickly for the sake of maybe somebody is not understanding. So we got to, let me unfreeze all of them. So when I unfreeze, you can see that there is nothing that is maintained. When I scroll around, there is nothing that we are maintaining. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, if you want to freeze the top row, of course, there is this functionality. Freeze top row. You freeze the top row, and then that one is maintained. That is understood. Let me mute this one. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to freeze first column, you can see that first column is frozen. Yeah, up to 74. So I mean, like the whole of that column number A is frozen. Let me unfreeze it again. But now there comes maybe a point where you want to freeze. You want to maintain some columns, and then some rows also you want to be maintained. Yeah. So maybe you want ID, name, gender, age mpaka phone number. Let's say all these information, they are critical. We want them to be maintained. But at the same time also we want the first row. It might not be it might not be only the first row, it might also be even a second, even up to row number 4. Yeah. So we might want to freeze it up to there, and then sometimes we may also need to freeze up to maybe, let me say, up to row number 3. So then you come and place your cursor at row number 4. But then column F, so F4. At F4 you place, maybe you click on cell F4. So once you click on cell F4, you come here and click freeze panes, right? So when you freeze it, you can try scrolling, and then you'll see that information that is frozen is A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, so those columns, sorry. And again, when you try to move up, you can see that we've maintained some information here. Yeah, ID number and everything. 87 up to that is up to row number 3. So those ones are frozen, and then similarly you go to up to column number E. They are frozen. Yeah, so that is the only way that you will want to freeze multiple columns or multiple rows. So you select up, you place a cursor, you click onto this onto a certain cell. So if I want up to phone number to be frozen, then I will not be clicking cell that is containing column column phone number. I'll click into the next column, so which is ID. So that is where I'll click and then come here and say, first, of course, you need to unfreeze. So, and then I click on freeze panes and then you can drag around. So phone number is maintained. If you click phone number, it will be frozen up to age, right? But if you want phone number pia ionekane, so you'll click the next column after phone number to be frozen. Yeah, Hudson, I think now you're good, right? Yeah, makes sense. So we are done with the the basics. Maybe one last thing. Sometimes you don't want these grid lines to be appearing in your cell. So you can see here when you come to view, you just click grid lines. So you click grid lines so that they are not appearing. There are those people who like working minus the grid lines. So you click on that and then grid lines inapotea. Otherwise, you may just want to have the grid line there. If you don't want to see the headings, you can also click around and you might also change your page layout. There's the normal one, there's a different, it's not compatible with frozen pen, so I might need to unfreeze first. Yeah, so you can see how the tables are now appearing. Yeah, but you need to get it back to normal. The only thing is our data is, I don't know whether they're gone. Here they are. Yeah, so that is that on the basics. So let's talk about summations. So that is where we want to introduce relative and or we want to introduce things called referencing. So let me say this is a class on referencing. So referencing. So sometimes you have information like what can we create? Okay, wait. So maybe you can say name, and then you say maybe weight, and then we say height. Yeah. So let's pick our names here. Okay. We can just do Adero. We can do Sizzler, and then we do Willis. We talked about how we changed Willis yesterday. So let's say Mbodza, and then we say John. I don't know whether we have a John inside this class, but we also have Derek. Yeah, so the weight of Odero might be maybe 78. Sizzler might be maybe 77. And then we have Willis might be weighing 60. Bodza probably a lady 65. John might be weighing 89. And Derek probably maybe no, Derek might be 71. With the height being 151, with the height being 160, 181. Bodza might be playing around 150. It's a lady. This one must be 178. Derek may be the tallest, 189. Yeah, so maybe we want to do some summations, or maybe we want to multiply by a certain value. So let's say, okay, let's sum. So this is, of course, is equaling to, you write is equaling to sum. So for those who are wondering what I'm doing, so you say is equaling to when you want to introduce a function. When you want to write a formula, you start with is equaling to, and then you say is equaling to. So we want to maybe do a sum. So we want to sum weight plus height, right? So is equaling to sum, comma, height, and then you place is equaling to. You can drag the formula down. But then there's a different kind of summation where you say is equaling to 78 is equaling to D4, you highlight it and then say plus D plus E4. So when you sum it, of course, those are two different formulas for you to do summation, but it achieves the same thing. So you can either use is equaling to sum, and then you just mention D4 comma E4, but again there is also a different function where you just write is equaling to D4 plus E4. So that is also summation. If you want to do a subtraction, of course, you'll be saying is equaling to maybe this minus 78. So then you find this to be equal to the same, right? Sorry, Soipei.
I'm very sorry. I remember that part.
Yeah.
But the current laptop I'm using, I don't know which format of keyboard is this. I can't get the equal sign.
So,
I did not know to miss that part.
Yeah, but so you can't locate the is equal sign.
No, when I just press shift and get here through the normal one, I can't.
How about the on-screen keyboard, the floating keyboard? You can use the floating keyboard on your laptop.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, try to use that. Okay.
It's okay. Let me use it.
Okay. Yeah. So there's now what I wanted to introduce. Of course, these are just summations that I was telling you. But now suppose you want to increase this height by a certain value. So let me delete this so that you see what I'm saying. Shift cells. Okay, even before that, let's do multiplication. Multiplication. And then for you to multiply, of course, is equaling to, you want to multiply E4, and then there's something called asterisk on top of number 8. If you're able to identify that, on top of number 8, kuna asterisk. So you click shift, then press 8. So we want to multiply E4 times F4, right? And then you press enter. So if you sum it down, you can see what is happening. So what happens is E4, we multiply it by F4. When you come here and also check the formula, you can see that E5 times F5. When you go back here, you can see E6 times F6, and then E7 times F7. And then here again, E8 times F8. Suppose there's a certain value here that you want to use for the multiplication. So I say you're supposed to multiply it by 6. You can see here. So hii ndo tunataka kutumia. So we want to multiply weight times this value, right? So we can say weight increment. I mean, any title that you can give it. Yeah, so weight increment. So we want to multiply weight times this value here, 6. Sorry.
Enough?
Yes?
I'm sorry for taking you back. Could you mind now we start from subtracting, because I lag behind a little bit. Just kindly.
Oh, this one for subtracting. Even before that.
I know summation so that I can be on the right place.
Okay. Are we together, everyone? Let me see those who are also behind. So Hilary is saying we are together. Now let me check the status of kila mtu. Brian is okay. Joel is okay. Who else? Derek. Valentine, are you okay? Oh, Nathan is not okay. Valentine? Oh, you're okay. Dickens is also not okay. I'm saying Sizzler is okay. Okay. Let me hear from Derek. Not Derek. Dickens. Dickens, where are you lost? So Nathan is not okay from upper subtraction. Dickens?
Yeah, from multiplication.
Multiplication. So who else? Ross? Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. Somebody else? Lucy? Yeah, so and I'm seeing Lucy, where are you lost, by the way? Where do we
Well, unfortunately, I've just joined. I'm trying to figure out what is happening. Yes.
Okay, so what we're just trying to do is introducing ourselves to maybe arithmetic operations, and then introduce a concept called referencing. You'll see why I've put that 6 there. But let me just go back to what we had and delete this one. Let me delete this. And let me just delete even what we have here. So how do you, so if you have maybe something like this, of course we are working with things that don't seem to be making sense, that you're adding weight and height of somebody. But yeah, for the purpose of just explaining this, let's just use it. So how do you sum? So if you want to sum these values, so you come here and say is equal to. So whenever you're writing a function or a formula, you start with is equaling to. Yeah. Because if you try to do this, if you try to, there's even no way you're going to write it. Yeah. You first start with is equaling to. So is equaling to, and then you select, what do I want to add? I want to add 78. So I select where 78 is. It is the cell called 78. It's cell D4. So I select is equaling to D4, then plus E4, right? If I do that, it's equaling to 229. So what happens is, instead of coming again here and writing is equaling to D5 plus E5, I can just come and drag this. Unaweka hapa cursor. So you can see on the corner there is a square. So you put that and drag it down. And then it becomes, so it copies the formula that you put. So this is, I can call this is summation 1. There's also another way to sum where you're using a built-in function. So sum 2. You use a built-in function called sum. So you write here is equaling to and start typing S. You can see there are some functions zenye ziko hapa. Sum, sec, second series, the sheets, etc. mpaka those who want to calculate standard deviations and this functionality, sum product. We'll see where it's going to be applicable. But so you type is equaling to sum, right? You can also see there are some functions like the sum if. We are going to look at these ones tomorrow. Sum if, sum product, and all these other ones. So it's equaling to sum, and then you put a bracket. You add a bracket is equaling to sum, and then you put a bracket there. So what is it telling you? It's telling you number, comma, number 2, comma, number 3. So you're supposed to highlight the cells. So you highlight cell number 1, and then you put a comma. So you follow what this thing is telling you. It's telling you that you put a comma here. So put a comma. Then what is the second number that you want to add? You want to add the other one, E4. Once you are done, you close the bracket and then press on enter. Let me review that. Let me review it next. So you say is equaling to sum. So when this thing has already appeared this way, instead of you putting a bracket, the next thing you can do is to just press tab. When you look at your laptop, next to caps lock, on top of it, there's something that is written tab. So you press on tab, and then it automatically puts a comma, a bracket, right? The opening bracket. And then now you select what you want to sum. I want to sum this one. And then the way this thing is telling you, you put a comma upper. So you have a comma there, and then add this 160, right? So once you're able to do that, you can press enter even without closing the bracket. Excel is going to close it for you. So if right now you can see that I've not put a closing bracket. I just press enter and then it sums. It does the summation. So you can drag it down. Let me do Control Z. So instead of dragging, you can also double tap. Once you just have this, not double tap, double click. Once you have this button, yeah, plus button there, let me see if it's going to work for us. Yeah, you just press. This is going to save you maybe when you have like a long list of data and now you want to drag all that formula down, right? It's going to take time. So what you do is just once you've done the correct function here, you just double click. Yeah, so that is summation. Are we good there? Thumbs up if you're good with the summation bit. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so those who are at subtraction, so subtract. Yeah, so subtraction is just the same again. Yeah, so you just say is equaling to, what do you want to subtract? We want to subtract, so of course here saizi you can see that weight ni ndogo kuliko nini, so let us just subtract this one. We subtract 78, right? And then once you're able to do that, same way you just double click. Yeah, subtraction, are you good? Soipei?
Pardon.
Oh, Dickens. Okay, let me delete them. So I've just said you do is equaling to. The same way we did the summation here is equaling to D4 plus E4. D4 plus E4. Yeah. You can also just come here and say is equaling to, yeah, what are this? So you can also say is equaling to E4 minus, you know how to put a minus. There's a hyphen apple next to, on top, like there's a backspace and then there's a plus sign, then there is a minus sign apple, then there's brackets next to 0. You can see there's a hyphen apple. Yeah, so you put that and then say is equaling to E4 minus D4. Dickens, is that okay? Yeah. Who else was having that issue? Nathan, you good? Nathan, are you okay? Okay, so subtract. Let me see if I doubt whether we do have. Is there a function called your subtraction in Nini instead of subtracting this way? I don't know, unless I'm not remembering it. I'm seeing Soipei, what's happening with your account? You seem to be entering and leaving. Oh, so I'm seeing the comments here. I can see screen. Amos, you are saying that your Excel does not permit you to freeze under view. Were you having an issue? Or you solved it, Amos? Amos. Okay, anyway. Yeah, and I'm also seeing a question here. Sizzler, let's say I want to sum more than 2 cells. That is the total weight stroke height for all. So you want to sum more than 2 cells. So for example, you want to sum up to here. Sizzler. So you want to sum like this, and this.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you just say is equaling to sum. So once you are here, you can click on this weight and drag. So you see you're able to drag, and then you click on enter. Instead of dragging, so let's understand the concept of dragging. So is equaling to sum, and then now we want to see the first one. The first one is D4. So I can just type D4 and then use the full colon here. And then where do I want it to end? I want it to end at H4. So I type H4. So you can see it has selected, it has highlighted it for you. So that is how you, instead of like putting comma, you can also use this and then press on enter. So this is, yeah, thanks for asking that. We are almost leaving it. Lucy, you were saying that, can you pardon how we make the cells to Nini? So when I'm here, you can see there's a square on the bottom right corner, right? Let me put my charger so that it doesn't go off. But yeah, you can see that there is a blue, not really, green square down here. So when you want to drag it, ensure that it copies kwenda chini, you just put your cursor there and double click this. Sorry, it's not going to double click because of something. This part is blank. That is why it's not copying going down. But that is what you'll do. Let me confirm it to you when we have information on this side. So say I have is equaling to maybe sum, and I want to sum. Let me just sum all this again. So I did not put a bracket. So I want to sum that. Enter. Right now, if I double click, you can see it's populating. So why it was not filling, auto-filling is because like of this blank, because it doesn't understand that there. So it was because there is no information on this side. But in most cases, what you do is just double click and then it copies all the information in the chini. Lucy, you good with that? Yes, Sizzler, your question is answered, right? Okay, yeah. So that is the summation bit. Let me delete this. So let's go back to that weight increment. So we want to increase our weight by something. Yeah. So let's call it weight increment. Weight increment. And I want to be multiplying it by a value like 6. The one that we chose. So we say is equaling to, we want to multiply our weight times, then there's that asterisk, right? We want to multiply it by this value 6. So we get answer is equaling to 468, right? What happens if you drag kwenda chini? I don't want to drag it. Somebody has to tell us what they're seeing on their end. So put a value somewhere and then do what you've done here and then try to drag kwenda down. I want to get a response of what you're seeing. Let's see from Nani. Brian, unapata nini when you try what I've done?
I haven't used the same column. I've used a different one, and I'm trying to do the weight increment.
Yeah, whatever it is that you have used, like you don't have to copy the same column that I have, but just put a value somewhere, and then maybe even kama umeiweka hapa 9, then you come here and say is equaling to, you want to increase this height times, yeah, you want to increase height times maybe even this 9. It doesn't have to be that. Then I want you to drag this information down for what you have. Then tell me what is happening. I don't want to drag it right now. I want to see it from you people. Yes, Valentine.
It is not appearing there. It's bringing zeros instead of the actual number.
You're getting zeros.
Yeah.
Who else is getting zeros? I'm seeing in the comment Lucy is getting zeros. I'm getting zeros. Steve Andrew is getting zeros. Who else? Do we have Michael? Nathan is saying getting zeros. Michael, what are you getting? Maybe yours is working. Sheldon? Joel Musilo is getting 0. Sheldon? Sheldon is not speaking. Check to make it clear on the multiplication. Don't get what you're saying. Are you saying like you're checking to, you're confirming your function, your formula, sorry?
No, repeat the process on achieving the multiplication.
Where? This one?
Yes. You say 78 times 6.
Where I'm saying 78 times? Oh yeah.
Just for example, 78 times any number. Say for example times 10.
Yeah, but I want that number to be written in a cell. Yeah, I want it to. Yeah. I don't want it to write. I don't want us to write like is equaling to maybe this 78. Then we say times 10. Of course, it's going to work. But
how did you know? I want to see now the way you wrote this formula. The way you have achieved this 78. Why have you?
78 is here, eh?
Okay.
This is where we are getting the information. So we have this. So we call it weight increment because we want to increase this weight. Eh?
Okay, I got you.
So we want to increase the weight of these people. So we say is equaling to, then we highlight where is 78 sitting. So probably on my cell it is sitting on D4. On your side it might be sitting on maybe even S10, right?
Okay.
So you say so you first write is equaling to this one, and then you say is equaling to, and then highlight where the cell, where the information is, and say is equaling to D4. So D4 is highlighted. Or instead of clicking there, if you know where the cell is, where the information is, you can just type it. You start typing D, and then say 4. It will highlight for you. But the quickest way, of course, is to just say is equaling to, and then click this one. Then we want to multiply. So there's asterisk. You know what an asterisk is, eh?
That's what I wonder.
So are you seeing somewhere on number 8? Can you look, check your keyboard? Are you seeing number 8?
Yes.
You're seeing number 8, eh?
Yeah.
On top of it, what are you seeing?
Oh yeah. A sign like a star.
You're seeing a star.
Yeah.
So and then you come if you come to your shift. There is somewhere also written shift, eh?
I got you now. Yeah.
So you click shift and then press number 8. Have you written that asterisk?
Yes.
And then now we want to multiply it by. We wanted to multiply it by value that was here, K2. So in K2, I want to write 6. So let me write 6 here. Yeah. So you can see this is how to write the formula. Are you good now?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Yeah. Now you see that is the necessity of checking the condition of your flock. Sheldon was far away. But anyway, anybody else who is lagging behind? So if I drag this, you can see it is bringing for me zeros. But why is it bringing zeros? Yeah, so it's because this D5 is now multiplying D5 times K3 by a value here. You check this, it's multiplying by K4. You check this one, it's multiplying by K4, it's multiplying by K5. And then it's multiplying by K6. So this one is multiplying by K6. So it's as much as we are dragging this one down, it's also dragging the cells down, right? And so that is where something like referencing now comes. So we want to reference and ensure that this one is maintained. Haitoki, yeah. We just maintain 6 peke yake. Yeah, so let me check it here. Should we, let's drag it down and see. So it's row number 2, not cell. So not column number 2. Sorry. So drag it down. Yeah. So that's it. So what happens is now we introduce what we call referencing. So we want to tell Excel that maintain number 6, maintain cell number K2. K2 should not change. Don't drag kwenda chini. Maintain K2. So multiply everything that is here. These other ones can change. Our weight increment, they can change, but this value must be maintained. So that is where now we introduce something called referencing. And for you to reference, you Control Z. For you to reference, you introduce a dollar sign. So you can see where I put the dollar sign. So let me put it first here. If I put dollar sign here, so dollar sign is iko kwa number 4. You type shift and then press number 4. When I drag it down, it is bringing for me zeros because what I have referenced is the column. Is it? Yeah, I've referenced the column. I've maintained the column. So that means that it's going to be pulling down kwenda chini. So you can see here, it's still K, but it has moved to number 3. It has moved to number 4, K4. Here also it has moved to K6. But when I want it to maintain 6 here, I'll have to reference the row. This row must be maintained. So that is where now instead of putting the dollar sign behind K, I put the dollar sign behind 2. So what this means is we are maintaining the column K. Yeah, like the column is K, but then the row does not change. The row is maintained. Number 2 remains unchanged. So if you put is equal sign and then drag this information down, you can check here K but 2 is maintained. Again here 2 has been maintained, row number 2. Again here row number 2 is maintained. So much as we are sitting on column K, but then the row we maintain this. We maintain this number 2, right? You can see that it's maintained in all the places. So 468, so 78 times 6 is equaling to 468. You can also even confirm with the calculator. 77 times 6 is equaling to 462. 60 times 6 is 360. Basic math, right? 65 times 6, 390. 71 times 6 is giving us 426. So that is, we are doing what we call relative referencing. Let me get a question if somebody has, or somebody wants it to be repeated. Is that understood? why we are maintaining. Brian, I'm seeing Steve. Anybody else? Who is having a problem with that? Unmute and speak. Anybody having a question? Okay, so that is what you call relative referencing. Yeah. So that we are maintaining this information here. So that is relative referencing. Have you tried it on your end to see whether it's working? So is there Soipei here? Soipei, I don't know whether Soipei is in the class. Let me check. Soipei maybe probably dropped. Sheldon, you're good? Before Sheldon.
Yeah, I'm good.
How about Emily? Emily, we haven't heard from you.
Hello, everything's good.
Who else? Who hasn't spoken today? Solomon. Solomon, tell us how you are. Solomon, are you understanding?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so actually what I was telling you should be let's see an addition here that you did. Yeah, so this is relative referencing, sorry. So what we did here already was relative referencing. I was just not remembering something. So this is relative referencing. Relative referencing in the sense that the information that we have, it is copied downwards, right? The formula is copied in the next cell. You find that the formula is copied. The formula that we started with is copied going forward. But again, what we are doing right now here is now where we start. Not here. Here is where we start what we call absolute referencing. So where we are sticking to a certain what? We could say like a certain column or maybe a certain row being maintained. We could even do it this way and then still no harm, I believe so. Let's try to drag it down and see. Yeah, so still we could also just add to the dollar sign behind K and 2, because again nothing will change whether we put just dollar sign behind 2 peke yake or we just have all of them. But there will be changes if we put dollar sign behind K. You'll see that if we put only behind K, then it's like we've done nothing, because again the column will be maintained anyway. So the only thing that you could need to focus on is these two. Dollar sign there, and then we find the same answer as when we put dollar sign behind K and 2 also. So that is what we call the relative, no, absolute referencing. So there's absolute referencing. That is what you've done there. What else? So apart from absolute and relative referencing, so relative referencing, you understand that is where cells, both there are changes in the subsequent cells, right? For example, where we saw this D4 is equaling to E4, but when we drag the formula down, it's copied to the next cell, D5 plus now E5. When you move to this, it's D6 plus now E6. That is relative referencing. But when you come to this one, where we are doing this weight increment, and then we want to stick around with this K2, we want to stick around with this, it's called now absolute referencing, where now you maintain that information. So that I think is understood by everyone. And then now there is what we call mixed referencing. So somebody has to tell us what mixed referencing is. There are some people who are engaged with Excel. Let us hear from you what mixed referencing is. And one of them is Valentine. Do we have Valentine here? Valentine Mariwa. Valentine, go ahead and, yeah, Valentine, inform us what mixed referencing is.
I may not know so much about it, but I think it's maybe a combination of both relative and absolute, though I am not so sure about it.
Somebody else was who? Sizzler. Sizzler had used Excel and also understood. So, do you know mixed referencing?
Mixed referencing is both using both the relative and reference and using both the referencing at the same time.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just mixing absolute and mixing the relative referencing that you're talking about. When do you think you can be using relative referencing, and when do you want to use absolute referencing? Simple stuff. When you want to just affect maybe your values by a certain a constant figure, right? So the constant figure here might be this 6 that we are talking about. So for those who want to maybe calculate commission, yeah. So you have what people earned. So for example, we could change all this information and call it maybe basic salary. We say basic salary here. So for those people who will be calculating salaries, Zawatu, so basic salary, and maybe your DERO is supposed to be earning how much? Basic salary. Odero, how much do we give you? This is if there's Odero here. I want to hear it from you. No, Odero is not here. It's dropped. Okay. Yeah, let's go to Sizzler. How much do you want to be your basic salary? Then you go to, there's no Willis. What's your value? It's like 75 Bob.
Okay.
Oh, 75,000. Sizzler wants 75,000. There's no Willis or Lewis because we changed. So Willis will be picked by Brian. Brian, how much do you want?
50.
That's
50,000. Okay. Bodza? Bodza, how much do you want? Bodza wants 95,000. Nataka kula kibosi. Derek? Is Derek here? Oh, so Derek is not around. Oh, Derek is there. Derek, how much? We give you 30,000. That's an insult to your profession. Well, let's give you maybe 60,000. And then we say John is supposed to be earning maybe even 45,000. This guy called John, and Odero is supposed to be earning around maybe 75,000. So think of this as maybe these are salespeople, and if they do a sales of above what? Above 100,000, they get a certain commission. Yeah. So So this is sales. So maybe in a certain month, nani anaitwaje, Odero sold 150,000, right? And then so is this 15 or yeah, 150. Sizzler maybe sold 200,000, right? And then who else? Brian sold 67,000, and then Bods and I aliuza 100,000. No, 110,000. And then John sold maybe 89,000. So we want to introduce a formula here, and also Derek maybe sold what? 60, or maybe 115 again, 115,000. This one should be 76. So if somebody makes a sale that is above 100,000, yeah, then you want to multiply their commission by, you want to give them maybe a 15% rise, yeah. So how are you going to calculate that? Maybe there's a formula that we could write here, but I don't want to introduce it because it might confuse you people. We'll do it tomorrow. The if function. It's going to be lengthy. So let's say how much this is supposed to be is equaling to maybe what? So is equaling to this minus 100,000. I was looking for a title for it. So tunapata ya kwamba Odero sold 50,000 more, and then maybe hao wengine they sold what, 100,000 more. There's somebody who sold 11,000 less, but then here we call it a title of commission, or maybe surplus sales. So you'll call it surplus, and then now we calculate that commission. Commission. So commission, and maybe now we are giving it 15%, right? 0.15. So 0.15 is what is 15%. So we multiply this by this surplus, by this 15%. So we could say is equaling to 50,000 times this. What are we getting? Sorry, is equaling to D4, and then multiply the asterisk by 0.15, and then we get that Odero is going to earn a commission of 7,500. Sizzler is going to earn a commission. Sorry, we need to reference. We need to reference. So you could type a $sign there. You could also type a $sign there, and then we reference it, drag it down, and say that Brian, of course, if you find something negative, Brian is going to be earning 0. Yeah, so right now we could do it this manual, but tomorrow I'm going to give you a formula where you can, we are going to talk about if function. So we are going to tackle quite a number of formulas tomorrow so that we come back to this and see what is going to happen, including in a case where it is less than 100,000, what is Excel supposed to be doing? So let's not bore you down today with that. But now you will see that the commission for Odero is going to be that. Derek is going to earn 2,250. And then right now you could say total earning, right? Total earning. And say that now total earning is going to be equaling to basic salary plus the commission that person receives. Yeah, and then you drag it down. You can drag it down or just double click. So in this month, Odero has earned 83,500. So that was 7,500 for commission and then 76,000 for the basic salary. So this is for maybe people who are calculating Nini. But all these things tomorrow we are going to see how to work this one using an if function. So don't worry if it's not really looking nice. Does that make sense? If at all there's any question. Yeah, Joel saying that it makes sense. Only Joel, it's making sense to only Joel. Okay, Brian, Soipei, and yeah, Hillary, and the rest. Yeah. Any question? Anybody lagging behind? So why I used 0.15 and not 15? Maybe some people will be saying that hapa tuliweka 15. Yeah, so it's 15 over 100. It's what it's giving us, this 0.15. So if you turn this into percentage, you could actually see that it's 15%. Yeah, which you drag and then you find valuation zeko hapo. Okay, so let's look at what? Mixed referencing. Do we have a data that you can use for mixed referencing? I'm trying to think of one because I did not come with data. Which scenario maybe we may want to look at for mixed referencing? Okay. Suppose you're looking at let's say this salary is 83,000. The 76,000 that we had. So 76. Let me just copy this information here, and then copy it here. Control plus V, and then say we want to find. I don't know whether it's going to work, but let's just try it out. Because I did not come with any data on mixed. And then maybe say here 25%. So 0.25. Then maybe say 0.35. And then maybe say total. So let's say we want to multiply is equaling to 70 is equaling to D4 times this. And let me just try it out and see if it's going to work. If it doesn't work, we'll tackle it tomorrow. And then if we drag it across, yeah, this is 07. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we could use this one. So you can see what is happening. So we wanted to see 76,000. What is the 25% of 76,000, right? But right now, what you are seeing is it's picking for us N7, right, and multiplying across. Then it also comes here and then picks 07. So like it's a shifting position going forward. Yeah, so how can we reference that this one is maintained, but what is going to change is only this one, right? Are you getting the concept? So the only things that are changing here is 76,000 is maintained, but again, you want to multiply and check maybe 25% of 76,000. What is it? What is 35% of 76,000? Here we are getting 256.5, but 256.5 is not 35% of 76,000, right? Yeah. Now, can you try working on this as I also look at it, so that we see how you can do a mixed referencing, and then finally we can get is equaling to total is equaling to sum. So we want to sum sorry, we want to sum is equaling to sum tab is equaling to sum, and then we sum this one. It's just maybe some kind of, so that we get this information. So we want to see, so is this the correct answer? No, right? So how can we do that referencing so that we ensure that what is maintained is this? Yeah, let's give it a try. Let's give somebody to try it for us. Before I also finish it, I put the formula here. Who is ready to tell us what, to show us what he's doing? Amos. No, Amos, you've spoken today. There's somebody who is not talking today, and that is Joel. Joel Musili. Can you do for us referencing? So what we need to reference is this. Is this M6? Is it M6 or M7? Yeah, M7. So we start by referencing this so that it is maintained in our multiplication kwenda huku, right? But how can you also maintain that multiplication kwenda chini? Yeah, Joel, tell us something.
I think I can only do it maybe for the 15%, but going to the other side, maybe if you just do it each exit row at a time.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see. Okay, let me just tell you what is going to happen. Yeah. So this is what you do, right? So what is happening is, right now you can see what I've changed, so that we don't take too long with that. So mixed referencing right now, I want to maintain the column number. I want to maintain column number M, right? You can see column M, but at the same time, I want to be maintaining row number 6. So row number 6 is containing 15%, 25%, and 35%. Those are the only things that I want to be to maintain. Right? So right now, if you see 15% of 75,000, we are getting it to be 11,250. 35% of 76,000, we are getting it to be 26,600. So with mixed referencing, you have to choose like what is the information that you want to maintain. I want to maintain column M. So column M is where my salaries are contained: 76,000, 75, 50, 95, 45, and 60,000. Here is where they are maintained. But what is the variable that I'm multiplying with? I'm multiplying with 15, 25, and 35. So I also want this row to be maintained. So there are two columns that are going. There are two issues that we have to check. Is column M maintained? And then we also want to check whether row number 6, where 15, 25, and 35 is sitting, we also want to check whether they are maintained. Yeah. So when now writing your formula, you are not going to put here $sign. So if you put there $sign, and also you come here and put $sign, let's see what is going to happen, by the way. You'll see what is happening here ni mambo mbaya, right? So you can see what is happening. So when you put $sign zote, so that means that we've maintained this M7, and also we've maintained N6, right? So if we put this formula this way, then it means 76,000 15%, it's not supposed to be changing. That is the only thing we are using for multiplication. That is why you are having 11,400. You're also having 11,400 here. It's because we absolutely referenced only two cells. Cell number M7 and cell number N6. Absolutely referenced. What absolutely reference means, they are not changing. Yeah, come rain, come sunshine, they are not supposed to change. Now you go back and edit your formula and say, the only thing that I want to be maintained hapa it's column peke yake. And the only thing that I want to be maintained is this row peke yake. So row number is 6. Then you come to your formula and say $ is supposed to be appearing nyuma ya 6 peke yake. If I put it also behind n, then it means that this cell here is this cell N6 is not changing. So you remove this $ that is behind n, and then you also come and remove this $ that is behind 7. That is behind M7. So if you leave it, then it means, okay, let's leave it and see. Let's drag this one here and say, drag this one here. So you can see the values that you're finding. You're getting completely different values. Why is it that you're getting different values? It's because a problem with your referencing. Yeah. So what you've referenced here means M7 is not supposed to change. 76,000 is supposed to be maintained. That is M7 is supposed to change. It's supposed to be maintained, sorry. The only thing that is changing is easy, but that value is going to be copied downwards. So you come back and edit and say 7, row number 7, we don't want to stick around with it. We want it to be changing. So you say is equaling to sign, and then now you can drag this going this way, and then you can drag it going down. So this is the correct referencing. So 76,000, 15% yake ni 11, 75, 11 to 50, 5,000, 7,500, right? 7,500, this is 50,000, 95,000, it's 14 to 50. So that is now what we call mixed referencing. So mixed referencing, referencing. Mixed referencing now is where you are using both absolute and relative. So you are mixing them up. So you also previously had heard of mixed things like mixed farming and everything. So in mixed farming, we're gonna combine all products that you may want to farm. But here now we are combining formulas. We are combining absolute and we are also combining the relative. It might have confused somebody. Let me know if kuna mtu amekuwa confused. Thumbs up. But I think I've explained it quite a number of times. Anybody who is not okay, do a thumbs down. If you're okay, do a thumbs up. Lucy, Hillary, Joel is not okay. Nathan is not okay. Sizzla is okay. Yeah, kindly just unmute and ask a question. Yeah, I'm seeing quite a number of people are okay, but 3 people are not. Joel, Steve, and Lucy. Who else is not okay? Somebody else who is not okay? Okay, Supe is okay. Joel, kindly, okay, I'm seeing Lucy is asking a question. Lucy is asking that, how have you calculated the total? How have you calculated the total? Yeah, this one I've just done a summation. I've just added these things. I mean, we could also just clear, delete it because it's not, it has no impact in what we are doing either way, because we just wanted to understand whether this calculation is coming out correct. 76,000, what is the 15% of it, and 25%, what is 25% of 76,000? But now it's coming out clear. So your total, I just put it there for maybe pure vibes. But how I got it, of course, it's sum N7 up to P7. Sum kutoka N7 up to P7, this one. So you just write a formula is equaling to sum, and then press on your tab, and then now you can drag this up to here, and then you enter. So it gets you the information. Lucy, if that was the question, are you okay now? Like if that was your main concern. Okay, Lucy, I think is okay. Let's go to Joel. Joel, you had an issue. Let me know what the issue is. Just unmute.
Could you just repeat that formula, the mixed referencing formula?
Mixed referencing. That's captured. Steve, your question.
Yeah, I'm also struggling when dragging across the percentages. I'm not getting the figures you have.
So is your problem dragging, or your problem is not the formula, it's dragging?
I think also partly formula, because I don't know if in the formula we are putting the dollar sign or not.
Yeah, you must put dollar sign. I mean, that is why we are talking about referencing.
So I think I'm struggling when I put in one, when I want to drag down, then I'm getting similar figures across, which I think that is wrong.
Okay. Can you read for me the formula you are using? Let me just read it. Dollar sign, whether, okay, answer, is equaling to?
So assume I want to calculate 15% for from both, that is that 95.
Yeah.
See, after putting the equal sign,
Just read for me the formula that you wrote. So we are here. So when you want to check the formula that you've written, you just click on maybe the value that was generated, then read for me this thing, what is available up here. So is equaling to?
So mine is M18.
Is equaling to M18.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Then I'll be multiplying it by N14.
N14.
Yes.
So this is the formula that you wrote.
Yes, but now I was inserting a dollar sign before M, then before 18, then again for the other one, before N and before 14.
Now that is where you are making a mistake. So you are inserting dollar sign here, eh?
Yes.
And then after 18 also, before 18 also.
Yes.
And then you are also coming here to insert dollar sign here.
Yeah.
And then you are inserting another dollar sign here.
True.
Now, somebody can explain before, so that we just check if everyone is okay. Emily, can you try to explain? Just try. Don't stay mum. Emily, unmute.
So that dollar sign, you have to put it before the number, because that's what you need to stay absolute.
So you are saying that okay, is first is the formula correct?
Before the
Emily.
call.
Emily, is the formula correct?
Which one?
Yeah, this one. See,
Yours or his?
No, his. This one is his. This one is not mine. This is what Steve wrote. It's not giving him the correct
No.
values. So why is it not correct?
Because he put the dollar sign before the column, that M.
Mm-hmm.
It should only be after.
So I should remove that dollar sign.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else wants to explain? Hudson, save the. Emily, your hand is up.
It's nothing.
Okay. Is Hudson, save wanaume.
Okay, so
This is Steve's formula. Now explain why he's not getting the correct thing.
I think it's because he also put the dollar sign after the asterisks. So it's like also he wants to absolutely reference the not he wants to like maintain that row. So if he's to maintain the column only for the percentages, the dollar sign should be here katikati peke yake.
So the dollar sign, so this one, so when you have this dollar sign here, it means you are referencing the column. So the column is going to be maintained. So nani anaitwaje? Steve, even before I answer, let me read some comments in here. He has used absolute referencing, which will be problematic. That is Lucy. Nathan is saying, but the formula, that formula gives the same value for all. Okay. Anyway, I thank you, Lucy, because Nani has absolutely referenced 2 cells. Only 2 cells is what you're using. So for you, ni hizi mbili tu peke yake ndo zinafanya. Let me use it. Let me use mine. Let me go back to this and say I absolutely reference these 2 cells. My laptop is not entering. Okay, now it's done. So let me drag it around. And then I also drag this one. Steve, is this what you're getting? You're getting same values?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Joel, is this also what you are getting?
I was getting that earlier on, but now I have gotten where my mistake was.
Okay. Yeah. So Steve, your mistake is that you are absolutely referencing cell number, what is contained in cell number M7 and what is contained in cell number N6. So those are the things that you're working with peke yake because of how you've written your formula. So what you are saying is, because we want this one to be changing, so we don't want to stick with only 76. We want to use 76 and then come out and use 75, then use 50, then use 95, then use, right? So the only thing that we are going to reference here is the column, right? Is it the column? Yeah, the column is the only thing that you're going to reference. So remove this dollar sign. If you add this dollar sign here, then it means this value is going to be maintained all through. So you go back and change, remove this dollar sign here, right? That is the first thing. Let's see when you drag it around the values that you're going to get. Of course, it's going to be wrong values, but cancel. Let's drag this down. Yeah, now you can see what is happening. Right now, if you used that, then it means we are maintaining what? We are maintaining the column. Yeah, here we are maintaining the column. Yeah, but so this is M7. So where's M7? M7 is 76,000. And you get 11,400. Yeah. So what is happening here is we are going to be maintaining. This 75 times this. Yeah, we are going to be changing the. We are going to be maintaining the column and also maintaining the values here. So 15, 25. No, actually, we are going to be maintaining this N6. So we are going to be changing this column, but maintaining this value. And that's why if you get 76,000 times 15, you find 11,400. And 11,400 is spread across the row, right? So it's because we have changed this, but we have maintained the first value, 15%. You can see that we've absolutely referenced 15%. Yeah, we've absolutely referenced this. Then another thing go back and edit your formula. So what you need to do is, right now we need to change this one needs to be changing, and so no, actually we need to be maintaining this row, yeah, and so we remove the dollar sign that is after n. Then you can now drag that formula. Sorry, Control Z. So you can drag that formula and see if it's working. So referencing might need you to have a third eye while looking at it, so that you don't mess around. You can see. Yeah. So Steve, if you change your formula to reference the column and also reference the row. So here we are referencing the column M, and then now we are referencing row 6. Yeah. Is it giving you a different value now?
Yeah, it is. It's giving me now the right values.
Yeah, it should be that. Try to understand this. That is to everyone, so because it will be part of your weekly assignment. We will give you data on some serious stuff about actuarial or about commerce, so that you work around referencing. You try to see if it's giving you the correct values. Yeah, so that is mixed referencing. So we've covered relative, where relative we said Excel just copies Nini. I was trying to look at it with what we had. Yeah, this one. So this is relative referencing. So you can see D4, G4, but when you drag the formula down, Excel can understand that we are moving to the next, to the next level. So we are going to D5, and then we add it with G5 now. We change the formula again, D6, we add it with G6. We change again and go to D8 plus G8. So that is relative referencing, which is like you could say the most commonly used. But now when you want to take it to a different level, now you use what you call absolute referencing. Yeah, absolute referencing, where now we are calculating maybe a certain percentage, for example, 15% of this commission, of this surplus, so to give us the commission. So we want to maintain just this value peke yake. We want to use it to multiply across various cells, see different scenarios. Drag it down, this is going to be maintained because we have absolutely referenced it kwa nini. So when you want to maintain one specific cell, then you have to put $ behind the column reference, which is H, and also behind the row, which is 2. So when you put this one $2 here, then it means that this is not going to change. It's going to be maintained all around, right? But here we have not referenced, so F4 is going to change. We come from F4, we go to F5, F6, F7, F8, going forward. So that is absolute referencing. So absolute referencing ni kama umeishikilia by force, it's not moving, right? And then we come from there and then now talk about mixed referencing, where now we are trying to change the row, maintain the column, maintain the row, right? And see different scenarios. What is the values that we're going to have here and there? Unless there's a question. I'm seeing Lucy's hand is up. Lucy, your hand is up. Ama, was it like an earlier one? You can ask us a question.
Yes, my question was, let me take you back to where you were calculating commissions.
Yes.
How did you get the zeros? Because I've been trying to see how you did that. I've not been able to achieve that.
Okay, let me just drag it. Sorry. So what I wrote here, because in -4950, if somebody does not hit the target, our target we said was 100,000, yeah, and that's why nilikuwa na subtract up a surplus. E4, what is your sales that you did? Then I subtract na 100,000. You understand that first, Lucy?
Yes, I've been able to do that.
Yeah, our target is 100,000. So if we are going to give somebody a commission on sales above 100,000. So that is why first you want to subtract what is the surplus sale. So surplus sale for this person was 50,000. And then now we come to calculating the commission. So commission is 15% of the surplus sales. But if you check mtu kama Brian alikuwa na negative 33, like the person did not hit the target, so he's not supposed to earn any commission. Yeah, he's not supposed to earn any commission. So here, if the person did not hit the target, then the commission is supposed to be zero, apati any commission, right? So hapa niliandika tu zero, si kuenda anything complicated. I just typed zero because alikuwa na negative 1650. I just typed zero. But now we will do it tomorrow where you are able to see it using a function. Yeah, unless maybe I can just try to introduce it to that function. That means, no, I don't need to insert. I could say, so this is commission. Commission. Let me just type it again, commission. And then say is equaling to. So we want to use if. All right. So there's a function called if is equaling to if. Let's see if. Yeah, so because we have already gotten, we have already calculated the surplus here. So you can say if this one is greater than 0, comma, if logical test value if true. So if that is greater than 0, then we multiply F4 by this H2, comma, if false, if it is not greater than 0, then we put 0 to the value of that. You can see it's giving us 75,000. Then now we drag it. Why is it giving us 0? Okay. I see. So this person sold what? Surplus is 100,000. So why is it giving us an error? Error in value. So there might be an issue with the formula. So this one is giving us 0. This one is giving us this one is not giving us a value. Why is it writing 90,000? Okay. Yeah. So that could be the formula that we use. Let me just try and clean why it's not making sense. If H2 F4 times H2. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not do reference. Sorry. So I did not reference. That was the issue. So I come here and say, I come here and say I need to absolutely reference this. Now you can see where referencing makes sense, right? Yeah. So right now, if I reference, you can see that I'm getting the correct values. 15,000 here, and also 1,500 the same, 2,250 the same, right? 0. So instead of me manually writing 0 here, the formula is writing for me 0. Lucy, you good, eh?
Yes, thank you. I'm good now.
Yeah. So basically what I've done here, I've said if the value that is here is greater than 0, that so to say that it's not less, like hakuuza chini ya the target. So if it's greater than 0, then pick that F4, pick the value that is here and multiply it by our value, which is 15%. But again, we are absolutely referencing it. And then you can see there's 0 here. So this means value if false. If it is false, then we write it. we put a 0 in that column, right? So if false, 0, value if true, we multiply F4 times absolutely referenced H2, and then we put is equaling to. Then you can drag now your formula kwenda chini, and then you have everything here. But again, now we have a formula which is the if formula. We'll talk about formulas tomorrow. Anybody who is finding it interesting? Leave it to Rice. It's not complicated. There's somebody that I've not heard from, and that is Franklin. Franklin, how are you doing?
I'm absolutely fine. I've been keenly following, and everything is going on very well. I've understood everything.
Okay, that's good. Anybody else? Let's hear from Mo. Nathan, are you good? You can type yes, or you can just unmute and say okay. There's Kamau. Kamau, you were not here yesterday. I did not see somebody called Kamau yesterday. Kamau.
Yes, I was not able to join. I came from work very late.
Oh no, okay. There's Lucy Kamau, and then there's somebody called Kamau. Kamau without Lucy. So I don't know this. Lucy, not Lucy, sorry. Kamau. Is it Kamau Newton? Yeah, Kamau Newton. There's a comment question is saying the previous formula is still a problem. Which one? Nathan, which formula? Nathan? You're saying the previous formula. Which formula? You can unmute and speak. The one with totals. Okay. So I want you to tell us like what your formula is. Like what formula you wrote. The one with totals. This one for mixed referencing. So which formula did you write? So that it's bringing for you problems. Or you can side chat me after this class so that I also help you to just get that. But you could look at the formula that I wrote here. What I referenced the column, and I also referenced just the row. So this row number 6, and also column number M. Those are the two things that I've referenced, Mr. Nathan, right? Okay, yeah. So if there's no question, then tomorrow we are going to do formulas. Let me just stop recording.